right, marching on. That's a little joke. Ray marching, right? Marching on. Anyway, forget that. Erase that. Retake. Anyway, so carrying on here. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the Raystep Multiplier. Now, from all of my research and experience with the Mandelbulb 3D software, and any reading that I've been able to do on these various functions, this Raystep Multiplier is the second most important property that you can manipulate, second only to the DE stop. It is it's very powerful. Now, let me just say this: where I like to start with the Raystep Multiplier is 1. That's where I like to start it. As a matter of fact, that's true with the limiter as well, down here. Let's just put them both to 1. And I want to actually show you what these things do, and actually try to give you an example. Like with each and every one of these settings here, these properties, these are ray tracing, ray marching, or quality related properties and settings. Every single one of them, there's two schools of thought. You can either understand thoroughly what these things do, or you can understand their impact on your quality of your image. Now, certainly the latter is far better. Let me do this for you. Let me give you an idea what this Raystep Multiplier does. They say here, the distance estimate, that's DE, are downscaled by this factor to avoid overstepping. And it says reduce the value if overstepping occurs. Black pixels, come on, get back here. Black pixels, noisy image. Too low values slows the rendering down. Okay, now let's get our little whiteboard up here. All right. Okay, so get back on. Let's make it black. Okay, so we have a ray. All right, and it comes out and hits an object. And you know from our previous discussions that is a DE stop. I'm exaggerating it. The scale's not right. You know, a DE stop value is actually relevant to the width of pixels. So a DE value of 1 would be really, really, really close. So I'm just, this is not to scale. All right, but that's a DE stop right there. And we use that so that we don't, all right, go beyond. That we have less risk of overshooting or overstepping where the ray has encountered an object in the scene. All right, now the Raystep Multiplier, what that does is it actually changes. Let's see if I can. It changes. I don't want red. I want black. It changes what that step value means. All right. So just looking back here at our explanation. Come on. All right. The DE are downscaled by this factor to avoid overstepping. So internal to the software, a Raystep marching value of 1, okay, whatever it means internal to the software. We don't care what it means. We don't care about the math. What we care about is the relative value. If I have a 1 there, it's going to, my DE stop value is going to mean something. If I have a 0.5 there, then that DE stop multiplier is going to be half. If I have a 0.25 there, it'll be 1/4 of 1. All right. So here's what it means in practical application. It means that the lower the Raystep multiplier is, the more accurate this DE stop value is. All right. Now, if you change the Raystep multiplier downward to a lower number, you're actually improving the quality of the DE stop function. This is all internal to the software now. But and since you're improving the quality of the DE stop, you're actually increasing render time. So, all right, so the rule of thumb is this, that the lower the Raystep multiplier, the better your rendering quality and the longer the rendering time. Your job is to find a good compromise between the image quality and the rendering. Again, it has a lot to do with whether or not you're in a still project or you're in an animation project. If you're in a still, well, I mean, go for the best possible resolution you can get, and who cares what the rendering time is? You're only going to render at one time. But in animation, you render thousands of times. All right, so now, along the lines of the rule of thumb, is that this Raystep multiplier will improve the quality of your DE stop. All right, so we've got a couple minutes on this session here. Let's see if we can kind of prove it. Let's do a DE stop of 3. Yeah, 3 probably is going to work. And we'll do a Raystep multiplier of 1. Now let's calculate this. The rendering time was pretty quick. Of course, we're dealing with an 800 by 600 by 450. Now, if we can just kind of get a sense for what that looks. Well, here, let's get our snipping tool up here. Let's just snip right down and yeah, that's good. All right. So now we need to start keeping track of 2 properties, the DE stop and the Raystep multiplier. And so there was, you know what I didn't do again? I should have captured, there we go. Let's try that. There we go. And we don't need this running, so we'll get that out of there. All right, so here we go. All right, so here's my DE stop of 3, Raystep multiplier of 1, and that's this. Now I'm going to change my Raystep multiplier to, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to do 0.1. Now watch the render time. See how much longer that took? Now let's see if we can compare a little bit here. All right, it seems to me that the render, the quality is about the same. I believe I got some white specks in here. Well, I'll tell you, it looks to me like with a DE stop of 3 and a Raystep multiplier of 0.1, I don't have much oversampling here at all. Look at this. Now here we go. Let's see if we can. All right. You see that little dot right there? I believe that that's oversampling, and that would have been right here, and that is gone. So it looks like I've actually improved. I have less white dots. That's what that means, less white dots. But I've also dramatically increased my render time. Now, what if I was to do this? What if I was to put my DE stop .1 and Raystep multiplier .1? Let's render that and see what. Watch the render time on this. No way do you want to live with that. That's just too long. So what we see here, this is really ugly. This is pretty bad. I've got white dots all over the place. You see all those white dots in there? They're all over the place. And plus, I have a very, very gaudy, looks like, yeah. You know what this is? There is so much oversampling in here that I have killed this whole thing. All right, and here's what it comes down to. Here is the key. What I did here with a .1 DE stop and a .1 Raystep multiplier is I have told that ray to get so close with the multiplier, everything is so close that I have serious oversampling going on here. Very serious. And what this essentially means is that the rays have done a lot of failing. Let's see if I can, no, I can't. If I was to render this at 4K, we would see that, but we'd see all that oversampling pretty bad, but we don't have to. This is all pretty bad. So here's the rule of thumb. Your Raystep multiplier and your DE stop play hand in hand, because the Raystep multiplier improves the accuracy of the DE stop. And by having manipulated both like this, and I got them so far down, I'm oversampling very badly. I don't want that. So let's do this. Let's say a DE stop of 2, a ray stop of 1. Yeah. Calculate. Rendered pretty quick. The detail's pretty good. Let's try a ray stop of 0.5. Rendered a little bit slower. The resolution is pretty good. Let's do a DE stop of 1.5. All right. So I got a ray step of 0.5, a DE stop of 1.5. Not bad. Not bad. I don't see many oversampling in there, overstepping. All right, so here's the rule of thumb. With your Raystep multiplier, let me restart. The rule of thumb is this: your Raystep multiplier improves the quality, or the Raystep multiplier improves the accuracy of the DE stop. The lower the Raystep multiplier, the more accurate the DE stop. Therefore, they play hand in hand. The Raystep multiplier would be your second priority in terms of determining your quality of your rendering to your DE stop. And you're still looking for the best possible image quality and minimum oversampling, and best render time. All right, let's leave it at that for now. I'll see you in the next session.